Congratulations to all of us who've joined in. For those who are hearing me for the first time, my name is Mercy and I'm managing the business and I'm going to be your host for tonight's session. So especially if you're a guest and you're getting started in your business, this will be really, really ideal for you just to help you to know the basics, yeah, of the activities that you need to do on a daily basis to get to be productive. So I'd wish to share my screen so that we can start off. Just give me a second. Yes, so because it will be a learning session, I hope we all have our notebooks and pens. It will really come in handy because I'll be dropping a lot of gems in this session. Yes, so just give me a minute or two so that I can just set my slides in slideshow mode. Mm, Okay, so start. In any case, you have any of your team members who will definitely benefit from this session, kindly share with them the reminder so that they can get to join in. The session will really be short and sweet because we have an upcoming session at around 9:15. Yes, so we can get started. So as I mentioned, my name is Mercy, managing the business, and I'll be the host for the session tonight. And tonight we'll be talking about productivity. Yeah? Especially as a guest, when you're getting to join in the business, you want to ensure that biashara yenye umeanza, it's bringing in money as quick as possible, and that is really determined with the activities that you do on a daily basis, because the 1+1+1 is what will add up to the results that you want to achieve. So let's just get into it. So we'll be looking at back to basics, just a few things in regards to back to basics to hakikisha that in any case, maybe possibly we forgot a few things, we can get reminded. Yeah. Okay, so just waiting for my slides. I'll just show that. Okay, so what do we mean by basics? This is basically a combination of simple income generating activities that you do on a daily basis to get you being productive every week, month, annually, and also every day. Yeah. And I'll be taking us through those different activities that you can get to do. And it all starts with the daily success blueprint. Yeah. For those who in the business, even tangu tuanze mwaka, there is an amazing planner that was launched by some of our top leaders. In that book is really a game changer because in that book it outlines all the activities that we need to do on a daily basis to ensure that we have the success that we need to have. In any case, you don't have your book, no worries, I'll just be outlining some of the activities in the planner book so that now when you're planning your days, you get to know what exactly to incorporate. So the planner basically incorporates the daily activities, that is the 7 out of 7 and 8 out of 8, which when you do consistently, of course, can propel you to tick them, the goals that you have set for yourself. Yeah, it's a success blueprint basically. Yeah. So the activities generally revolve around the everyday activities that you need to do as forever business owners. And I'm sure we've heard of the 4 key things we need to do: the using of the products, the recommending of the products, building a team, coaching the team that we have, and also attending all relevant training. So the activities that I'm going to break down are revolving around this, and also self-development, which is very key. So let's start off with the morning routine, which is the 7 out of 7. So basically the 7 out of 7 is a set of activities that one does asubuhi, before you embark on your day's activities. It's really, really important, yeah. Before you go out there and be of service to people, you need to serve yourself, yeah. And you need to pour into your own cup, yeah, so that you can show up as the best version that you can. So let's break down each of these activities. First and foremost, prayer. This is really important. Of course, when you start your day right with God, there is those things He will streamline for you. Talk of guidance, protection, provision, favor. You know, we're in a business of people, so even favor with the people we are interacting with. Grace, mercy, a lot of things, yeah. And also for those things that as entrepreneurs that are out of our control, when you release it to God, anafanya mambo yake. So it's really, really important. Also under this point, you can include mambo kama morning devotion, reading the Bible and all that. If possibly you're of a different religion, just doing what you need to do on a morning basis before you get started with your day. Then we talk of self-development. Yeah, this is where, of course, you empower yourself with knowledge. We usually say that you cannot pour from an empty cup, so you need to develop yourself. Hata ndio ukuwe na hiyo knowledge ya kuweza kushare with your team members, it has to come from the fact that you've learned a few things and you can be able to easily share. Yeah, yes. So self-development mostly entails reading books. Yeah, you can have maybe a hard copy book that you're reading, a soft copy book that you're reading in regards to different topics. Maybe you're studying something in regards to confidence, entrepreneurship, network marketing, recruiting, emotional intelligence. That's just to give you a few ideas, yeah. And some of the books I can highly recommend under self-development: Building Your Network Marketing Business, Go Pro with Eric Corey. There is the 45-minute presentation by Dan Failer. That one is just to help in terms of recruiting. There are many others, yeah. Dan Locke books, Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold, 10x Sold by Grant Cardone. Anything revolving around that, yeah, or any topic of your choice, yeah. Okay, then there is the mindset training, which is really, really important because in entrepreneurship, there'll be the ups and downs that come with our line of work. So you need to, yani, ni kama unajiweka helmet around the brain to ensure that you mentally build yourself, yeah, to ensure that you're able to handle the highs and the lows, yeah. One thing I can say for a fact, the people who've been able to build this business long term, this is a very key thing that they get to do because, as Jim Rohn puts it, winter, summer, spring, hizo vitu zote, the different seasons of life will get to face, but the person who stays till the end ni yule mwenye ameset sail yake ikikuwa sawa. And setting your sail, one of the things you can get to do to set your sail right is doing mindset training. Then going into now goal script. Now with goal script, it's basically a script which you've written, a piece of paper or a book where you've written down the goals that you're looking for to achieve. It could be daily goals, it could be weekly goals, it can be monthly, quarterly, or annually. So reading your goals every day is very, very important because it gives you a sense of focus. And the reason why it's important to read on a daily basis is because we are faced with a lot of distractions on a day-to-day basis. So to be able to ensure that your mind is focused on what matters most, lazima ujikumbushe. So your goal script ambayo uko nayo, you can read it every morning before you get started with your day, even before you sleep. And maybe there are a few things also I can add on to the goals. It's not enough that you just have goals that you want to achieve, A, B, C, D. Your goals need to be smart, specific. Yeah, if you're talking of maybe a car, what kind of car? Measurable. What amount of money? Big money is not clear. What amount is it? $1 million, $100,000 here? accurate, realistic, yeah, because of course you go step by step from smaller goals to bigger goals. Time bound, is it maybe a certain step, supervisor by December? Yeah, that one will give you a sense of urgency. Then besides having a goal, what are you willing to commit to? This is when you can write down those habits that you know will propel you to commit to the goal that you've written down. Is it waking up early? Is it avoiding distraction, cutting off negative people? Those are some of the ideas of things you can write under what you're willing to commit to. What are you willing to give up on? Is it a lot of sleep? Is it maybe comparing yourself with other people? Is feeling easily disappointed? It's good to write down what you're willing to give up on. And some of the things you can write down under that list is bad habits that you know you want to stop,
Mercy.
to ensure that
Sorry, Mercy.
you'll get.
Mercy, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, most people are struggling to hear you. Maybe you can increase your voice or move closer to the
Oh,
microphone.
sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes. So move closer to the
Okay.
microphone. Some people are struggling to hear you.
Really sorry about that. Okay. So as I was sharing in regards to goals, I had mentioned you write down your goals, what you're willing to commit to, yeah, what you're willing to give up on. So what you're willing to give up on, mostly it's the habits that you want to leave aside to be able to ensure that you're committed to your goal. How you'll feel having achieved the goal that you're set to achieve. Is it that you'll feel more, just a minute, is it that you'll feel more excited, you'll feel more enthusiastic? Iandike, because it will give you that emotional feeling that will come with taking the goal that you have. How you, okay, there's some people who include how they feel if they don't achieve their goal. If you feel that will work for you, it's okay. It's just the reason why some people include that is because here the fear of missing out can really propel them to commit to the goals that they want to achieve. And then part of the morning routine also is daily affirmations. So these are positive, encouraging statements that you repeat to yourself to promote positive thinking, boost your self-esteem, and counter negative thinking. And it's really, really important because for affirmations actually to be most effective, these are words that you need to speak out loud, yeah. Kujisomea ndani ndani is not as effective as reading to yourself out loud na unaweza kusikia. The reason why you want to read out loud the affirmations that you have is because they help to program them subconscious mind, which will lead you of course to more positive thoughts. And of course vile tu Bible pia huwa inasema as you think so you are. So if you continue thinking that way and you're declaring it, you're attracting good into your life. Yeah. Yes, then as I finish out working out, so working out is simply exercising, yeah. It promotes optimal wellness by encouraging an active lifestyle. And also at the end of the day, most of us are known as health coaches to our clients. So leading by example is one of the best things that you can get to do. Say for example, you're a guru in recommending weight management products. You need to look the part, yeah, because clients will buy you. Ni vile tu MC alikuwa amepost in the community group. Clients will buy you first, yeah, before they buy your product. So you need to ensure that you look the part, yeah. And even when you're fit, you can just do it to ensure that you're flexible, yeah. You don't have to be overweight just so that you can get to work out. And then of course, there's using the products. Being your own best customer is very, very key, very, very key, because what you get to recommend, you're able to, or rather, what you get to use, you're able to recommend with a lot of ease, yeah? And you don't recommend also on the basis of theory, also practical, yeah? You can get to share your story on how a particular product has helped you. And in the process, a client can decide to get involved in the product because of your story. So I hope we are getting value so far. Kindly drop me a one if you are, as we move on to some of the key tips I can share also in regards to the 7 out of 7. So if you work on your inside, it will propel growth on the outside, yeah, because what you are will reflect on the outside. And remember, our business is 80% mindset and 20% action. So if you work on your mind, yeah, yani mindset equate to check, Yeah, na umewin in the mind. Even when you get into action, ni kuwin tu kabisa kabisa. Not to mean that you won't have ups and downs, but when you have a winning mindset, even when you have those challenges that you face, it will not put you down sana. Then don't dwell, move on swiftly from disappointments. And the way you're able to do this easily is you working on your mindset, because when you work on your mindset, no does not become something that brings you down easily. Then how you think when you lose matters a lot. Yeah, what this means is basically during those moments that you find things are moving slow in your business, one of the best things you can do is work on your mindset, because when you work on your mindset, it will give you that push to keep going until things get to change for the better. Yes, and as we usually say, when you're moving towards success, it will be uphill. So what will give you the strength to move uphill all the way? How do you figure at the peak of the mountain? It's the mindset that you have yourself. So goes back to the fact that working on yourself, the 7 out of 7 is really important. You're the driver to your own success. So if you're the master to everything, you want to ensure that you're working on yourself, kabisa, kabisa, kabisa. Yeah. Then, of course, going after your goals. When you read your goal script, they'll give you that focus to go after the goals that you have. Always show up and never get tired. And one of the key secrets to ensure that you always show up is your mindset training, self-development, mindset training. It's really, really important, yeah, to give you that daily strength you need to show up. Then accidental growth is not sustainable. Purposeful growth can be demanding, painful, but it's necessary. Yeah. And one of the ways you ensure that you have purposeful growth is when you work on yourself. Yeah. When you wake up and you're doing that morning routine, ni muhimu kabisa. Yeah. Then you build your life by the words you speak. Going back to the fact that affirmations are very, very important. Positive affirmations to be specific to ensure that you're working towards the goals that you have. Then acknowledge where you are and know where you're going. Yeah. Yes. And of course, still going back to the goal script. Yeah. The goal script will give you a clear pathway to where you're headed to. Then breaking new ground starts with self-discovery of the following. Get to know your weaknesses, your strengths, and this you can easily know when you're writing down those things that you're willing to commit to and what you're willing to give up on. Yeah. For example, ukiandika that you're willing to give up on a lot of sleep. Of course, a lot of sleep, it seems as your weakness, a temporary weakness. So you can even work around how you can be able to make that a thing of the past. Yeah. Then your success is dependent on how much self-work you put in. Learn to fully depend on yourself and you'll be unstoppable. Yeah. And to be somebody who you can depend on yourself, you need to ensure that you're the best version of yourself, which comes from working on yourself. And then, of course, ensure that you work on the key aspects you need to work on: your communication, your attitude, your emotions, and your target. And the best way to ensure that you're good at this is your self-development can revolve around this. If it's maybe you don't know, you feel that you don't know how to effectively talk to people, find self-development books that can help. Is it your attitude? Maybe you need to find a book that talks of emotional intelligence, or also your emotions, that is your targets. Books that will help you to know how to set proper goals and go for them. Yes, then even as you use the products as part of the 7 out of 7, you can always take content while using the products, because seeing is believing. For clients wakiona unatumia, the belief is up there. Yeah. Yes. So now, the daily activities, let's get into this swiftly. So this basically entails, number one, the number of conversations you start. This can be through social media, it can be offline. Maybe if you're part-time, you can target averagely 3 to 5 people. Full-time, you can target 10 plus. The easiest way to target 10 plus can be when you incorporate both online and in social media. Because say, for example, in a day, you talk to 2 people offline, 8 people ni rahisi wapate from social media. And who can you approach on social media? People who actually get to follow you, people who are following maybe your favorite influencers. You're able to connect with people from all across, yeah, the friends of your friends, yeah. Yes, then contacts collected, yeah, you can get to target 5 or more in a day. So how do you collect these contacts online? Online, say you're running an ad, say you're posting, that is one of the ways of collecting contacts. Offline, say you're giving out flyers, say you're doing an exhibition, you're doing a tabletop, you're connecting with people, maybe Kamatatu or somewhere, all that counts. Then new prospects to call, yeah. A prospect can either be a potential client or possibly a potential business builder. And calls are by far the most effective way you can get to connect with a prospect. So what I usually say is, yes, you can collect that number online, sorry. You can collect that number on Facebook, on where? On Instagram. Even as you get to chat with these people, ensure that you have that moment that you get to talk inaweza kwa either one-to-one ama on call. You need your people to feel your energy and your enthusiasm, yeah, because there is those key things you will get to, inaitwaje, you will get to pick from maybe a call versus kama you just make the communication strictly chat. So calls are very, very important. And also another thing about calls, people are able to open up more. I'm sure majority of us have been in a position where unaongea na mtu via chat, it's limited, but when you get that phone and call, they share even more than they had intended to, yeah, for a good reason, of course. Okay, then we can move on swiftly. Then people I share the business with, yeah, remember that new blood is the lifeline in our kind of business. So always make it a daily responsibility to reach out and sell our life-changing business opportunity. I remember when we traveled to SA, one of the leaders was mentioning that we are selling two things. We're selling the products and also we are selling the business opportunity. So always ensure that you have new people that you're reaching out to. Also, another thing I can say when it comes to this, always keep in mind that you're planting seeds. Don't go with, how do I put it? Don't go with an entitled mindset that ni lazima mtu ajoin papo hapo. You just focus on sharing the opportunity. If they feel it's the right time for them, then they'll embrace it. If maybe it's not the right time, as long as they know it, ni sawa, and you're keeping in touch to ensure that now when their right time comes, they can get involved. Then following up on prospects also is important. The fortune is in the follow-up, yeah? So more effective follow-up involves sharing value in relation to the prospects wants and needs. Say, for example, maybe the prospect who you've talked to amesema ako type A, but anaenda kutafuta pesa ya pombo. What can you do meantime? And say, for example, that particular prospect had shown key interest in travels. You can be able to, from time to time, just share testimonials of people who've traveled, pictures of travels, just to keep them excited, yeah, and looking forward to join the business so that they themselves can get to experience the same. For those who love cars, you can always share testimonials on cars. Those who love money, we have many testimonials on money, even your own testimonial. Naweza ambia prospect, today I've made 5,000, looking forward to empowering you with the knowledge on how you can make the same as well, kitu kama hiyo. Then follow up on your stable team members. This is very, very important. Just because you have people who are stable in your team does not mean that they don't need your follow up. You can always stay in touch with them. Of course, this gets to show that you're a leader and that you're available for your team. And in any case, any may need help, that you're available, yeah? So sometimes staying in touch can be just commenting on their status, sharing something motivational, getting to call them or reach out to them to know how they are faring on. It's just a simple vile tu you can keep in touch with a friend, same way. Okay, so I hope you're getting value so far. If you are, kindly drop me, say tuko 2, drop me a number 2. Okay, so the other thing is following up on your new team members. This is very, very important, especially because For new team members, these are people who you'll notice in the first few weeks you're giving them assignments. Unaambia mtu ende uandike name list, ende usikie GoPro, ende usikie Jim Brown. So that follow-up is important to ensure that they've been able to finish on the assignments that they have, and also because you're able to offer them help and support. Remember, new people are like eggs, they are fragile eggs, yeah. Only what, by the way, you need to follow up on kabisa kabisa kabisa, because they can just face an objection out there and they feel demoralized. So by following up with them, you know, they're able to open up to you. In any case, maybe they have good news of a client who wants to buy and you can help them kuhudumia huyo client wake, ama maybe they will tell you, you know, I'm having a challenging time right now, could you help me? Yani it's generally important, yeah. So either calls, either text, whichever way it works best with your meeting. Meeting up with them is very, very important as well. And then we have client calls. Also, the most effective way you can get to connect to the client, yeah. I know we usually have, of course, our social media platforms, which are good. I see Samson, you've raised a hand. Maybe you can, I don't know if it's a question, but I hope I'm loud and clear. I hope si voice yangu. So client calls, very, very important, because yes, we have social media and, you know, WhatsApp, Facebook and all that, and it's good because you share value, but calling, nothing beats calling at all, at all, at all. That is one thing we should embrace as forever business owners. Nothing beats calls at all, yeah. It's one of those activities that you need to allocate time for, yeah. Inaweza kuwa daily, inaweza kuwa weekly, but nothing beats calls, because on calls somebody is able to open up, yeah. Vile tu nilikuwa ninasema kuna kitu mtu anaweza kukutext, lakini ukicall ndio anakuambia sasa vizuri, yeah. So calling helps you your person kuweza or rather what I mean is when you call a client, you're able to understand more of the needs that they have particularly, yeah. And also when you're making calls, it's important to ensure that you've sharpened your skills, yeah. There's a lot of content on YouTube and also in different platforms on how you can make effective calls. Say, for example, it's a new client, how you go step-by-step introduction, getting to ask them some questions, getting to go from the known to the unknown, mambo kama hiyo. All this you get to learn from doing your own research, attending training, so that you can know how you can do it to the best of your ability. Also, if you have the fear of making calls, you can start off with role playing. Hata kama ni kujiongelesha, weanza tu na kujiongelesha, how do you build your belief, and now you get to calling your clients. And always remember to strike a balance between offline activities as well as social media. Don't forget one, yeah. Kama ni social media, yes, do social media, but don't forget offline. If you're doing recruiting activities, don't forget retailing. It's always a balance. Okay, so now, as I finish off, just to share some few key highlights when it comes to now the activities, the 8 out of 8. Focus on high leverage activities, especially if your main target is to be able to tap into the big income of forever. We all know that recruiting and productivity is important. Recruitment, retaining, productivity. So ensure that your main focus is on those activities that will bring you a lot of money. Then in the process of talking to clients, you can always introduce them to other product ranges. Kama umeanzia na client C9, you can go into personal care, skincare, yeah, because you never know, from the other ranges, they would love the other ranges more, and that way you have repeat client of different products, yeah. Then run with momentum so that you're not left out. The best way to build momentum is it starts off with your daily activities, yeah. The activities that you do on a daily basis, they build up the momentum that you need to be able to scale up, yeah. Then when it comes to building a team, focus on people who are worth your time. Don't put your energy into people who are not committed, because I usually say this: if you force somebody to do the business, you'll have to force them to do a lot of other things, which is which is really not profitable or worth your time. So just work with those who are willing to work with you, yeah, and you'll be in at a good place. Then have a criteria that you use to analyze people who are serious in your organization. Very, very important. If you say Huyuni, your A team is one of the main people in your team, how can you get to categorize them, or rather, how can you get to gauge them? Yeah, do they attend trainings? Yeah, do they show up for meetings? Do they do activities? Are they active on your group? Those are some of the key things you can get to know whether you have somebody you're running with or not. Then when it comes to activities, if you want to increase your chances of getting a yes, it's always a game of numbers, yeah? Always get to know your numbers. Out of 10 people you talk to, how many do you see you're able to convert? Is it one? So to be able to get 5 people buying this week, how many people do you need to talk to? That is 50. So where are you getting the 50? Maybe from social media, wengine offline, hivyo, yeah. So always know your game of numbers, because as long as you know your game of numbers, it's easy to predict the results that you can get you want rather, yeah. And also it's easy to be able to determine the results you want, because if you want more yeses, that means talking to more people. Then when it comes to both recommending the products as well as the business, don't go with a begging bowl. Just ensure that you're sharing value. Yeah, we are not in a convincing kind of business. We're in a business of sharing value. Then from the value that you share, somebody can make a decision on whether to get involved in the products or to get involved in the opportunity. But don't give your energy that without them you cannot move on. Not quite. You're there as a consultant, as a coach, to help them. Yeah. Yes. So share the value, then when it's the right time for them, they'll get involved. In any case, unaona mtu ako hesitant, just save yourself the energy of wondering kwa nini. Just tell yourself that maybe it's not the right time for them to get started, but tell yourself that after you've done your best to help them. Ukiona that you've done your best and bado wako tu hapo, just get to know possibly it's not the right time for them. Then when you're building a team or helping your team members, remember that it's about them, yeah? Or rather, remember that it's not about the pin, but the structure of your team. This is very, very important. This is a key highlight I got to learn from South Africa, from one of the leaders. Alikuwa anasema that don't focus on positions, focus on the structure that you need to have. So if, for example, you want to build a manager business, just focus on the structure. To be able to have a strong manager team, how many people do you need to have who are strong, who are running? That is averagely 10 to 15 people. So focus on ensuring that your structure is strong. When the structure is strong, even in terms of mambo na kupata pesa, the bonus recap, itakuwa a good amount, yeah? So going back to recruiting, it's really, really important. Then always remember, money should be the end goal. Just focus on the impact you'll have on somebody's life, because when you help somebody look and feel better, they're buying products from you. So eventually, pesa itaingia kwa mfuko. If it's possibly helping people get to earn their own income by helping other people, there is that bonus that you'll get from the company. So when you focus on people, hizi vitu zingine zinapata kujisort. Then when it comes to team building, always remember that your leaders need to want it more for themselves than you want it for them. Yani, lazima kukuwe na ile reciprocation of energy. You cannot go the whole mile na mtu haja step hata step moja mbele. So work with, vile tu Jim Rohn huwa anasema, when one person takes one step forward, you take one step forward. Yeah, hivyo, yeah. Yes, then we are in the business of building and rebuilding. This is really important. Also a key highlight I learned from the managers convention. So in any case, you find that you're in a position where, yes, you've built a team, but team ikapotea, no worries. Just focus on still the same activities, which will cause you to rebuild. And by rebuilding, you'll have a new team that you're running with. And also, even when you have that new team, continue building, yeah, because Attrition is one of those things you cannot control, but you can always control the fact that we are talking to more people. Then always remember that when you're building a team, stability comes when your team is deep rooted. Always aim to build 3 generations deep. This is one thing I learned from, of course, the convention, but also the 55-second presentation. The author wrote and said, lazima uhakikishe that when you bring in people, they also have their people that they are running with. Yeah, those are for those who are committed to doing the activities. Yeah, when you're 3 generations deep, that is a solid foundation when it comes to building your team. Then also creatively being in touch with those who said no is very, very important, because no in our kind of business means next opportunity. Yeah, so is it maybe keeping in touch by just knowing how they're faring on, commenting on their stories and all? That is a good thing, or rather a creative way to ensure that you're keeping in touch, because even when you get a no, possibly you can get a referral of somebody who can really do the business kabisa, or even buy the products. Yeah. Then as I finish off, keep your lifestyle at leader level and not income level. This basically means that your work ethic is everything. So work ethic boils down to those activities you need to do on a daily basis. Focus on doing the 7 out of 7 and 8 out of 8. As long as your work ethic is okay, pia pesa itakuwa sawa. Yes, and you're able to fund your lifestyle very comfortably. Okay, then manage your team's expectations from the start. This is very important. This one now goes to the activity of team building. Especially when you're building new people, just get to let them know a few of the things they can get to expect. Let them know that no is a normal part of things, because if you don't tell them and they face that no, they'll easily be discouraged. But if you let them know that it's part of the things they'll face when they're building their business, they won't be shocked when they have to face that. Then never underestimate the power of small beginnings. So just start from where you are with what you have. Possibly for you currently, you may find, maybe paying an influencer is a bit on the higher side. So you can start off with even running an ad, 200 in a day, 200 bob daily, until you build that momentum to get to a point where hata influencer mwenye anakuambia umlipe 10k ya ku-advertise, you can easily do it. Then when it comes to recruiting, before you retain people, ensure that you recruit massively so that the game of numbers can work for you. And sifting process will definitely happen. And that sifting process happens when you're back in when you're there. They're strong, they're part of your strong legs to say me. Then help your team develop the mindset of an entrepreneur. This is really, really important. It goes back to you yourself. You need to have the mindset of the entrepreneur so that you can duplicate to your team. And one of the key things with the mindset of the entrepreneur is no one is your boss, you're your own boss. So it's your goals that will push you. So letting your team know that it's not that you're there to be their boss, you're just there as a guide, but their goals is what will get to push them. Yeah. Just one of the many things, under the mindset of an entrepreneur. Then set non-negotiables when it comes to daily activities. What I can say about this is that si siku zote zitafanana. There's those days that you'll have your high moments. During your high moments, of course, you'd want to do all the activities on the daily planner, which is okay. But there are those days that maybe you may not be feeling good, or you have a lot going on. Just set non-negotiables, your bare minimums. Maybe hata kukue aje ama aje, nitakuwa naongea na, I need to follow up with like 3 people in a day, 3 clients, 3 prospects. Maybe making 5 calls, that can be part of your bare minimums, just to ensure that yani biashara yako haujaacha tu hivyo pa. The momentum is building up no matter how small. Then qualifying for incentives, of course, is a game changer. You can imagine if you're consistent with 7 out of 7 and 8 out of 8, the amazing incentives we have currently, you can qualify for them. Like we have the Christmas party that will happen this coming December. So if your 5cc is active October and November, you get fully paid for. Then we have the workshop that is happening in January. So if you're consistent with 5cc October, November, December, you'll find January you have a fully paid for workshop for the whole day, which is really, really fun. And ensuring that you tick the big goals starts off with ticking the daily wins of the daily activities you need to do. Then you learn how best to coach your teams through training. So attending trainings is still an important part of the 8 out of 8, because there you're able to get skills and knowledge on how you can build your business. Then help your team break through a negative mindset, really, really important. And this boils down to you as a leader. When you work on your mind to renew your mind, you're able to duplicate the same to your team, because you're able to, for example, tell your team, I usually listen to this person, and when this idea, you can also listen to them. And they listen to that person, and they find their business has improved. Then create a safe space for everyone, especially, of course, when you're on upline and you're dealing with a team, you need to be wise. Yeah, you cannot go around sharing your team members' weaknesses with other people. You need to be smart to be able to keep some things to yourself. Then as I finish off the last slide, make your downlines your business, not your uplines or cross lines. Yeah, ukiangalia pale kwa activities, especially activities of prospects, you'll notice that new team or existing team, new team, all fall under the category of downline. So that is to show you that working with your downlines is the main business that you need to do. Of course, you can always get follow up with, or rather you can keep in touch with your uplines, very important, also other people in other teams who are cross lines, but just focus on, ensure that your main focus is on what is paying you. Yeah. Then going to work often with your team is very key, because their success is also your success. So the best way you can get to work with your team is, say, for example, you've planned that each and every week you're doing, each and every day you're doing the 7 out of 7 and 8 out of 8. For example, when it comes to calls, you can decide that there's a particular day you just go to the office and you meet with people in your team and you make calls together. Yeah, so that you can get to learn from one another and tap into the knowledge of one another. So that is one of the ways you can go to work with your team. Say, for example, they're having a launch. Being present as an upline is important to offer support, guidance, and all that. Yeah, helping them with their first few calls, yeah, especially if they're new people, also is really, really important, because they're able to know how to go about making calls professionally. Then showing up physically for trainings as often, very, very important. As much as we have the online ones, physical ni muhimu, starting off, of course, with the Wednesday one that we have, where we share our stories. If you can get to show up, especially if you're in Nairobi, showing up is important, so that your energy and excitement is important when you're building your business. Then, of course, taking your financial life seriously, and always be financially prepared and work towards it. And the best way you can get to do this is focusing on income producing activities, of which we've outlined. Set up a personal and business budget. Yeah, this is very important, very, very important. It's one of the key things we've been discussing with my close team. When you have a budget, it gives you something to look forward to. For example, if you sit down and say, this week, I want to earn 20,000 in profits. I have a budget of 20,000 rather. Utajiuliza, hii 20,000 nitaipata nikiuza nini? Nikiuza A, B, C, D. Say, for example, 20,000 is like averagely, on average for AS and above ni kama 6 C9s. Kila siku ni kama C9, C9, C9. So unajiuliza, ndio niuze C9 each and every day, how many people do I need to have talked to ensure that I have a sure order of a C9? Maybe 15 people. Where will I get those 15 people? Kuna social media, kuna offline. So ukishajua hivyo, you won't be forced to do some activities, like for example posting. Utajipata tu ukipost. Running ads, utajipata tu ukirun ads, because you have that goal that you're working towards. Doing good customer care, you'll just do it automatically, because there is that goal you're working towards. And even as you set up your budget, it's always important to invest. Yeah, so if you can save, sorry, you can save and invest. Yeah, you can save up 6 to 12 months of expenses. Then if you want to invest, you can invest, or you can set up an emergency fund or anything of that sort. And always remember that Forever will always continue to pay. And we've seen this even during COVID, wakati some jobs were being closed down, Forever was continuing to pay. So this is one of the sure signs that you can get that Forever is always committed to ensuring you're making money. So do the best that you can to ensure that each and every day, if not daily, at least weekly, you're making something. Ama mwezi ikiisha, you've made something in terms of either profits, bonuses, or both. Yeah. And because you'll have that surplus money, you can always decide to invest. And even when you invest that money so that the money can multiply, you can invest it in a place where it won't take much of your attention from the primary source of income that you have, which is Forever. Maybe you can put your money in a money market fund where it will multiply, hata ukue usikue, but at least you're focusing on the main thing. Then this last point also is one of the key highlights nilipata from the convention. GEM bonus is the pinnacle when it comes to financial freedom. Yeah, we talk a lot of financial freedom and the fact that with financial freedom, you can, it's more or less like passive income. So let's all work to ensure that we earn the amazing GEM bonus. This is one of the bonuses that you get to earn as you continue to scale your business high to the levels where you're managers and you have several downline managers. Yeah, yes. So that is it from me, leaders. I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your time. I want to just check the chat box. Ndio nione kama kuna swali. I hope we've been able to get a lot of value. I hope we've been able to get a lot of value. Kidogo tu. Yes, 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 yes. So I hope you've been able to get a lot of value. Ndio ninaona my volume was really low, but I hope that got fixed. Yeah, maybe Emmanuel, you can get to confirm as we get to close. So thank you so much, leaders. Let's just get into implementing. If you don't have your planner yet, I can highly recommend that you get yours. Yeah, just get yourself one. Maybe you can reach out to Gabana. She can get to direct you on how you can get your planner. The good thing with the planner is that it's planned quarterly. So even when you get your planner this October, you're not too late because that one planner will last you October, November, and December. Yes, so that is it from me, leaders. Back to you, Emmanuel.